What sorts of things are you waiting for? Perhaps you're waiting for school to be over, or for your birthday to come, or for Christmas to arrive. Well, a long, long time ago, another girl called Rebecca was waiting. But Rebecca wasn't waiting for any of those things. She was waiting for something much bigger, much better. Something that would change the world forever. And the world needed change badly. You see, Rebecca lived in Israel. She was an Israelite, one of God's people. And that was meant to be a really good thing. But actually, right now, the world was dark. Soldiers from Assyria, Israel's enemy, had invaded the lands that God had given to his people. And now there was nothing but sadness. It seemed like God had forgotten about Israel, and Israel had forgotten about God. There was so much sadness, so much slavery, so much war. And Rebecca knew that it wasn't supposed to be like this. But Rebecca also knew that it wasn't always going to be like this. Isaiah, the prophet, had told Israel about a promise that God had made to them. He had promised that one day a perfect king would come who would rule forever. Isaiah had said, "A child will be born to us. God will give a son to us. He will be responsible for leading the people. His name will be Wonderful Counselor, Powerful God, Father who lives forever, Prince of Peace." It was all going to change. Light would come out of darkness. Joy would come out of sadness. Freedom would come out of slavery. And peace would come out of war. And so Rebecca was waiting for that day, but she never saw it come. Friends, God has been very good to us because we can see what Rebecca was waiting for. We can know that Jesus did come as a baby, the perfect king who would rule forever. And that is what we're going to be celebrating at Christmas time. And Jesus will come again, a second time, as the judge. He is still the perfect king who will rule forever. And that's what we're going to celebrate in heaven. But now, during Advent, we wait. We look back and we remember God's promises to Israel, waiting for Jesus to be born. And we look forward and we trust God's promises to us, waiting for Jesus to return.